Hello, family and friends. I'm Hilda Crawford. I'm a 65-year-old woman who's lost 225 plus pounds in the last 3.5 years. I created my YouTube channel to encourage others who had health issues they need to overcome or weight issues. I just want people to understand that it is possible to regain your health and to lose weight even when you're above 60. Over the next few days, I'm going to continue reading from a book that I just published called Journey to Health and Weight Loss. It's available on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle format. I will have a link to it in the show notes below. Today I'm reading Chapter 3, High School and Beyond, Part 2. When I returned home from Christmas break, I had gained the freshman 60 pounds rather than the freshman 15. I weighed 257 pounds. I had my own money from work study, and I had complete control over what and when I ate. I remember how heartbroken my mother was when I got home that break. Fortunately, I didn't continue to gain at that time. I reeled myself back in. But I have to admit that while I was attending college, I really didn't spend much time focused on diets. I sprained my ankle badly during my college sophomore year, and my doctor decided to hospitalize me and do a complete workup on me to see what was going on with my weight. My doctor diagnosed me with hypothyroidism, abnormally low activity of the thyroid gland, resulting in metabolic changes in adults, and lipedema, a long-term chronic condition typically involving the abnormal buildup of fat cells in the legs, thighs, and buttocks. She started me on my first thyroid medication, Synthroid, when I was 19. My hypothyroidism was later found to be caused by the autoimmune disease Hashimoto's, and inflammation of the thyroid gland, which makes hormones that control many of the body's functions. It causes fatigue, weight gain, puffy-faced, and low heartbeat. After 2 years of college and the equivalent of an associate's degree, I went to work as a key punch operator and computer operator, skills I learned doing work study at school. Again, I wasn't really focused on my diet, except that I was trying to eat healthy foods and stay active. With my thyroid medications, I was staying pretty much the same. Then suddenly and unexpectedly, my mother passed away on September 13, 1979, following varicose vein surgery a few weeks earlier. So shocked and sad, my father immediately sold their home and moved back to Midland, Texas, to be near his parents, brothers, and sisters. My brother had joined the Air Force just before she died and had to get leave from boot camp to attend her funeral. My younger sister had already married and had a son of her own at the time. A long-term boyfriend was not supportive of me during this time. I was just too needy. I was 22 years old and felt totally alone in the world. I picked myself up on my bootstraps, packed all my stuff, and followed my father back to Midland. My sister and her family followed shortly thereafter. I met my husband in the summer of 1980, and we married in November of 1980. I was 23 years old and weighed around 265 pounds at that time. Here's a picture of us on our wedding day. As is pretty typical to many newlyweds, I began to gain even more weight. I was working nights as a data entry supervisor at a bank, and my husband would either bring me fast food for dinner or pick me up and we'd go eat fast food. I decided it was time for me to get this weight under control again, so I tried Weight Watchers, Magic Mirror, curves, Cambridge, and body wraps. I finally decided to do something more drastic, and I had my stomach stapled in 1984 at 27 years old. I only lost 45 pounds before I began to regain the weight. In 1986, my husband and I had a workforce separation for about 6 months. I remained in Midland living with my father and my stepmother until I could get transferred to Lubbock, Texas, where he had already been transferred by the State Department of Highways. I lost 60 plus pounds that summer staying with my folks, getting below 199 pounds. I was taking this crazy medication prescribed by a doctor in Dallas that was later banned. It was found to contain some sort of weed killer. It raised my body temperature and therefore metabolism. My stepmother and I also went on 6-mile bike rides nearly every workday morning before work, and I was following a sensible, low-calorie, moderate protein diet. As soon as I got transferred to Lubbock, the Crazy RX was banned, the weekday bike rides stopped, and the weight started piling back on with a vengeance. I reached the 310 pounds by the end of 1988, when I was 31 years old. I began seeing a weight loss doctor that supervised me on Medifast 55 liquid diet for a solid 9 months in 1989. I got down to 197 pounds. We were then transferred to Dallas, Texas in the spring of 1990, and I had to stop the doctor-supervised Medifast 55 plan. I actually was able to keep a lot of that weight off, primarily by not eating lunch and dinner, time-restricted eating, and not eating or drinking sugar. I got pregnant with our son in late 1991. I was close to around 250 pounds at the time and 35 years old. By the time he was born, I had hit 365 pounds, and even trying to mind my diet. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis while I was pregnant, and had probably had it most of my life. I yo-yoed my way up to 440 plus pounds over the next 26 years. I continued to try every diet that came around: Zone, Calorad, Nutrisystem, Isogenics, and third-time Weight Watchers. Third strike, you're out. The older I got, the more difficult losing weight became, and keeping it off was a joke. I hope you enjoyed tonight's chapter. I will be checking back in tomorrow. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel. Be blessed.